In a world, 4 friends, 1 mission.
Mikey, what are you doing?
I'm doing the thing for the podcast.
It's not that hard, bud.
Dude, just say the name.
Fine. It's the Freedom Friends podcast.
You guys are putting a number on that fucking ball.
You know what? It's going down smoother than I remember
It's
it being.
fucking delicious.
It's so good.
Just remember what it does.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
I need to bring in the tequila I have that was Kayla got for me. It was aged in bourbon barrels after they made the tequila.
Oh. You know, I have a
It's
bottle
perfect for
of,
when you can't decide.
I have a bottle of Jagonis in this fucking.
Do you really? That was
It's good.
that was good shit. Y'all weren't fucking lying about bar house prices though.
Fucking phenomenal, isn't it?
How are you pouring Blanton's for $8?
Like fucking amazing.
I'll
I
dude.
tell
can't
you
even
what.
buy it at the liquor store for $8.
I
more.
put a lot on my tab that night, and it was $100.
I think mine was
I
like
tipped the shit out of them when I was
$23.
leaving too.
Even Steve, when he came out, because he like bought everybody's first round and shit, and he came out and he was like, I think I gave her 3 raspberries. And I was like, yeah, that sounds about like
Yeah.
she's because I remember we walked in and he was and we ordered or we walked in and we were looking and he goes, there's Blanton's. I was like, there is Blanton's. And he goes, is that what you want? I was like, yeah, I'll have a Blanton's. He goes, double Blanton's for him. She goes, okay, but it's gonna be $16. And he was like, okay. Like,
2, please.
and then he goes, I'll have one. And then like whoever else was with us and well, there wasn't anybody at that point because he let me drive the Lightning there. And I drove the Lightning there.
Yeah.
We
Wow.
actually, when we got on 78, I'd been kind of careful with it. And we got on 78 and you know, it's just a fucking straight line. And he was like, all right, stop pussyfooting around and fucking punch it. And I was like, it's your truck. It fucking,
Right.
but it's such a weird driving experience because it makes no noise.
Yeah.
Like you just,
And it's instant power. There's
You're
no
just gone.
spooling up.
Well, he gave me a ride down this road right here, right? And we were doing probably 80
Yeah.
on this fucking stretch. And nobody heard us.
yeah.
Like nobody looked to see like, what the fuck?
Because it's just silent.
It was just quiet.
All I know is we got there and Kibby and Mike Jones' family showed up and they were like, we don't know how fast you were going, but we do know that we were at the light with you and then you just weren't there anymore. And I was like, yeah, it fuck me. And that was just like, I didn't push any buttons or anything. That was just
Yeah.
whatever the regular driving mode. Apparently they offered him, if he'll bring his Lightning in for $8,000, they'll put him in the supercharged one. That's like, it's got more distance, but it produces more power. Or what I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, it's like the equivalent to like 930 horsepower in that pickup truck. But it's all on tap. Like it's not it's 9,000 between these RPM or 900 and whatever. It's like at idle, it's 900 and whatever horsepower. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. And he's like, yeah, I turned it down. He's like, if I'm going to die in a vehicle, it's not going to be in a truck.
Murdered. Yeah. Fuck. You ready? We are recording. Oh, okay.
Oh, shit.
Oh, so it's Friday.
Yeah.
Sitting
Hi,
in a
everybody.
circle, got drinks and sticks. What are we doing, John?
We're masturbating, boys.
You damn right. It's time for the Freedom Friends Master Debate, solving the world's problems one mediocre topic at a time. Our sponsors, they're down in the fucking description down there. What you got for us today, Justin?
All right, boys.
All right, boys.
So Mikey sent me this one
I did.
a few days ago, and I think y'all will have fun with this one. What was the incident in your high school?
You know, every high school has like an incident. Like there was one defining thing that happened while you were there.
9/11.
Fuck, I'm
Well.
glad I didn't go to Parkland.
Fuck.
Columbine.
You graduated way before 99.
Yeah, 98.
Yeah, 9/11.
Were you in high school then?
My senior year.
What?
Hmm.
I don't
Did this
even know.
happen in high school or while
Like in the world or
You
to
were
me?
in
No,
high
like it happened at your high school.
at your high school?
Like, I'll give you an example. This happened at my high school.
The problem is
right?
it kind of completely destroyed my senior year. Like it was all of a sudden, like,
Yeah.
it was like all
And
the
it was
cool
like the
shit.
beginning
You know
of
what
the
though?
school year.
Yeah, it's like all the cool
Less-
shit that would have happened was like,
Less
Oh, we're kind of
devastating than
more now.
COVID if you were in
Yeah,
high
it's
school.
Oh, God, that would
COVID
suck.
fucked people up in high school.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, like, so what happened in mine? Well, I remember somebody threw pepper spray canisters
Okay.
into the AC unit and like gassed one half of the fucking school. So everybody had to fucking like the ambulances came. All of us
That's
fucking weirdos with
That's
that.
a terrorist act.
100%. 100%.
Back then, it was a prank.
Yeah, back then it was just a prank.
You
But, like,
bitches today.
but like
That was a prank
like,
back then.
that was my first time in an ambulance because I had asthma and I didn't know I had asthma, but the fucking pepper spray like fucking boosted it. And I was like, oh fuck, I can't breathe. You know, I was sitting under a vent and it got me real good. And I was like, what the fuck? And like, so that was like the incident while I was in high school, right? Was somebody pepper spray bombed half the fucking building.
Apparently, you did not have asthma, you Marine.
That's correct. Or I just shut the fuck up and sucked it up.
Yeah, they don't know if you just don't tell them.
Yeah,
Like,
it's real weird. So,
no, I had asthma when I was younger.
So
a lot of people didn't. You
And
grow
they-
out of it.
And they ask you, and they're like, "Do you have any breathing issues?" I was like,
did it have to
Nope.
happen at my high school? Or
I think
did
that's what he means.
Yeah,
is
like what? Like my brother had a mad crapper. There was some person who was running around his fucking high school shitting in the hallways, right?
So
Weirdly enough, my brother caught her,
our entire
which was surprising for everybody.
Our-
Nobody thought it was a girl.
our entire
It's
hockey
called
team
gorilla
almost
shit.
got suspended.
Your whole entire what?
Hockey team almost got suspended.
Yeah.
So we a good amount of the hockey
That
team.
poor girl.
No, had walked into a bathroom one day, and I went to high school in Minnesota, which is a very, especially nowadays, a very heavy Muslim population. And so there was a group of people from the hockey team that were doing an event.
What year did you graduate?
2000.
Okay.
And this
was before all the Muslim hate
was
started.
This was 98.
Yeah.
So a group of people from the hockey team walked into the restroom after whatever event was going on. I don't remember what it was. And there was in the sinks, right? Every single sink was filled with a Muslim dude washing his hands and feet in the sinks, getting ready for prayer. And it turned into a thing because it was like, I just got done pissing and now I have to wash my hands. So I don't know what the fuck you're doing with your feet in the sink, but get out of the fucking way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't, it was more naivety than anything. It wasn't like, I know what you're doing because you're getting ready to pray. It was
you're
like,
being an asshole.
why the fuck are your
Why are you
nasty
washing your
fucking
funky
feet in the sink?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it turned into a thing. That was outside of that. Like we had senior pranks. Like we took the fucking principal's car and jacked it up, took his wheels off, put him underneath, put the car back down on his wheels.
I like that.
You know, like stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
But what I was saying, like something that happened outside of school, but it was school involved, was there was a big ass party in between I think my junior and senior year. And it was on the edge of one of the quarries. And one of the kids from school they were by the edge and people were like jumping off randomly if they wanted to or not. And they were just trying to get people to jump. And this dude was like, I don't know how to swim. And everyone thought he was joking. And somebody pushed him off and he really didn't know how to swim and he drowned.
Oh,
Fuck.
And it was a fucking thing.
That's called a murder.
That's why it was a fucking thing. Like, I don't know who, like, I didn't see who pushed them, but with the commotion, I knew that somebody got pushed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know if they ever found who actually pushed them, but I hope to this day, if that person fucking listens to this, like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
You murdered,
ma'am.
yeah,
Whoever the fuck you
you
are.
murdered that kid.
Like, if somebody's like, I don't know how to swim, that's not a fucking joke.
Yeah. You don't
You
fucking
know?
push them into it. Yeah.
Or
You jump in after them and help them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right? Like,
Right?
Yeah. Did anybody jump in to help him?
Yeah, they did. But by the time they found him, because he never surfaced.
Oh,
So by the
fuck.
time somebody actually found him, he was already underwater for minutes. And at that point, like with the age of the people that were there, like nobody really, like people knew CPR, but not like,
yeah.
you know, and by the time the medics and everybody showed up.
You got like that one douchebag that was like, it's cool, I'm a lifeguard. And fucking
What are you trying to say, bro? You know what time I said that this weekend? But the difference is like I was just recertified in CPR like in this past July. So I'm still valid
Yeah, in Rotan,
CPR
right?
certified. Yep,
Yeah.
still valid CPR certified.
Tourniquet the neck.
That's it.
That's
It stops
the
the
best
bleeding, whether it's above or below.
Yeah. Totally works.
Really does.
Totally works.
That was the entirety of the safety briefing when we started. We were like, "There's first aid in there. There's first aid in the fucking front
Somebody
of the
asked
trailer."
me, they're like, "Do you have tourniquets?" I'm like, "There's 2 in my truck. There's 3 in that bag, and there's 2 in that bag."
And so we told them where all the med supply was.
There
And I
was
was
one-
like, "And if
there
you
was
need
one
a
in my
tourniquet,
van,
just
too.
tourniquet the neck." That's
yeah.
What's the priority of saving a life? Breathing, bleeding.
Responsiveness. Rub big breast softly for better head.
Yep.
Responsiveness. bleeding or breathing, bleeding, rub big breast, shock, fractures. What's
B.
the other B?
I don't know, botulism.
Rub big breast softly for better head. I think it's broken bones, like
yeah.
compound fractures for better head. Head
F was
injuries.
fractures.
Yeah. I don't know. I always did it's like the 4 life-saving steps or whatever. It's like stop the bleeding, start the breathing, protect the wound,
No, I think
treat
so.
for shock.
The ABCs.
Breathing is more important than bleeding.
Yeah, start the breathing, stop the bleeding, protect the wound, treat for shock.
So that kind of
That's for like a wound. That's like a gunshot wound or some shit, right?
that negates our tourniquet around the neck.
It's like, oh, he's
Tourniquet the neck.
drowning. I only ought to help fucking
it will
gunshot
stop
wounds,
the
guys.
bleeding.
Sorry.
It'll stop the bleeding.
If you stop the breathing, that usually stops the bleeding too.
Counterintuitive, yes.
Tomato, tomato.
Tomato, 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 tomato.
Oh, we're gonna watch Netflix.
Oh, fucking A.
What,
Hey.
what is going on?
He's over there fucking off during the show.
Don't
That's what
point at us. We're not doing anything.
We're not the goddamn producer.
Actually, I think probably my senior
there you go.
year,
Burns.
Breathing,
That's what the
bleeding.
other B was.
Oh, it's
Burns.
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 Yep.
if you talking about major events, I was probably part of well, at least one of the major events that I have a story for from high school. So I ended up in this massive prank war with my I had him 2 years in a row because he taught multiple subjects. So, and I skipped my junior year. So I went from being a sophomore to being a senior.
Of course you did.
And
Oh, the village people just showed up.
Yeah.
Hi, Gary.
and I ended up in this massive prank war. He was my English teacher, and then he became my political law teacher. And we ended up in this massive prank war. And it started with like, so the political law class was also debate. You had to be able to, like, we had a mock court and all that kind of stuff. And so it was an econ law class. And so at one point he kept a gavel on his desk, which was also how he would get the classroom's attention and stuff like that. So I stole it at one point, held it for ransom. And I wanted it was 2 chicken nugget lunch and 2 chocolate milks was the ransom on this thing. And I had it for like a week.
It's a fair ransom.
That's fair.
But he walked into the lunchroom one day and set it in front of me, and I was like, "There you go." Gave it back.
So he knew
And,
you had it.
He knew I had it.
Okay.
I sent I used the school newspaper and cut out all the little fucking letters and like sent a ransom note.
Attaboy. I did that in high school to a chick. I stole her fucking backpack. She had like a Grateful Dead
I
backpack.
thought you were going in a
And I
different
fucking
direction
stole
with
it.
that.
And I made a fucking ransom note and did the same shit.
Yeah, I did. Some chick. I stole her virginity.
What?
Gave her a ransom note.
What is he going to give it back?
Come over
And,
here by 3 o'clock if you want your hymen.
Oh, God.
So then he pranked me back by getting the office to keep paging me to the office.
That's funny.
So
That's funny. That's a cool teacher.
yeah, so like all day it kept paging me. Like, we kept pulling me out of class and paging me to the office just so that I'd show up and they would go like, I went to one of those high schools that gave you a planner.
Yeah.
And to go anywhere, the current teacher had to sign the planner or whatever. And he was trying to get it to where my planner would be full of signatures, so I couldn't write like any of my assignments and shit. And so I responded to that by I got the custodian to unlock his classroom, and I filled every drawer and everything in his desk with packing peanuts.
Mm-hmm.
So he went in and opened all his shit, and packing peanuts went everywhere.
Nice.
And then he responded by getting a fake report card sent home
Fuck
that was
yes.
showing that I was like barely passing any of my classes. And so I responded by saran wrapping he had a CJ7, a vintage CJ7.
Nice.
And I saran wrapped it like 19 layers deep in that commercial grade saran wrap. And then he 2-part epoxied my locker shut.
I see that. Like, there's like solid.
There was an
there's
escalation
like
of
solid.
force here.
But you know what? It's a subtle escalation.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
And so then I
It's
ended
not
it-
like, yeah, you did that, and then I murdered his dog.
Yeah.
And then he fucked my mom.
God damn it.
It's called gain fire superiority,
Yeah.
boys.
So then, but he was also the basketball coach. So I got the entire basketball team to show up, and we Top Gunned him in the middle of the foyer. Because before school would start, everybody would show up and you'd be in the foyer and the bell would ring whenever we go to their classes. So I got the entire thing I got his whole basketball team with me. And he came walking in because he always came in the front door. He never used the back entrance. He always came in the front door. Then he walks in and his whole team just goes, ba-doom, ba-doom. And I came out and I was just like, you never close your eyes. And we did the whole number. And at the end of it, he just walked up to me and shook my hand and he's like, I surrender. And that was the end of the whole thing. But it was like a 3-month prank war that happened between the two of us.
Awesome.
And the whole school was like tracking what was going on. We were in the paper for it and the whole night.
That's fun, dude.
Yeah,
That's fun, dude.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's a positive one. It's not like getting pepper sprayed. That's way better.
Don't live in the ghetto.
Well, everybody knows that I went to an alternative high school. Like one of my electives is I could go to daycare and play with kids that were the children of other students.
Wow. Yeah. You should really,
Yeah,
you need to figure out how to phrase that differently.
Yeah, started off really bad.
It was an elective class. It
You
was
should
daycare.
start off with the latter of that sentence.
Yeah.
As
There's
an
other
elective
students
class.
that had children.
And
We had a
as an
daycare in
elective
the class. As an elective, you could go be an additional caretaker.
Yes.
Not as an elective, I could go play with kids.
No, he didn't even say that. He just said, I used to go play with
Get your gross ass minds out of the gutter, man.
I've been to Baltimore.
It wasn't there.
Oh yeah, this is New Mexico.
This was New Mexico.
It's even worse.
Fucking, you
Should
know
have gone
what?
with Baltimore.
I'll go visit Baltimore again. I haven't been back to that bitch since I left, so you're not wrong. God, how shitty does your state have to be where I'm like, yeah, I'll go to Baltimore. Like, holy fuck. Yeah, and we had a smoking area in my class. Like we all smoked cigarettes between classes
Like,
with the teachers.
Is it New Mexico where Breaking Bad is based?
Yeah. I was about 2 hours north of there, but yeah.
So when your teachers know how to cook meth,
I guarantee you one of them did. I'm looking at you, fetters. I know you because I know your son. I know your son's a scumbagger. He was. He's probably good to do now. But
or not.
Yeah.
We don't really know.
we don't know.
Yeah, my school, I was probably the ringleader of most of the.
Say it ain't so.
this is my surprised face.
I know, right? Like I went to a small high school, right? And so one day I went to the superintendent and the principal. I said, hey, I'm getting into a fight. This kid deserves to get his ass kicked. How do I do this where I don't get in a lot of trouble? And they're like, well, the school property ends right here. If you are not on school property, you can't get in trouble. I said, sweet. Thank you.
I had that same with that teacher I had the prank war with.
Yeah.
I had that same conversation
Yeah.
with him. So my high school car, we've talked about this. My high school car was my El Camino.
Right.
Well, old GMs had hood ornaments.
Yeah.
A lot of old cars did, but all the old GMs had
Right,
hood
right.
ornaments. And all the cars had their own hood ornament. And the El Camino was that weird, like awkwardly shaped diamond that was
Right, right.
red, and then it had the bow tie in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And in all fairness, I'd slept with the dude's girlfriend, but she didn't tell me they were dating. So
So he
it wasn't on purpose.
ripped off your hood.
And I was sitting in the car and he walked out and ripped the hood ornament off my car. And I was like,
Yeah, didn't you have like a jeweler's spike with you or some shit? Something crazy.
That's when it's like, put your motherfucking teeth on
Yeah,
the curb.
yeah, well, it's one of those
That's
rules,
a
right?
fair
Like, you don't, right? Like,
It's a fair
There's the
trade.
3 rules.
I'll give you my hood ornament.
You don't
I'm gonna
fuck with a
fuck your
dude's.
girlfriend.
I'd rather you just punch me in the face. Don't
Yeah.
fuck up my view.
Yeah,
Right.
don't
Like,
fuck
don't
with
fuck
a
with my
dude's
money.
car.
Don't fuck with my car. Don't fuck with my woman. In all
Well,
fairness, I'd fucked with this woman.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to. I didn't know they were. I'm not saying stop me, but I didn't know.
Right.
And so, but yeah, I carried around a piece of oak
That's what it was.
behind my seat.
I
But
knew you had like a beater of some sort.
yeah, I'm not a big guy.
It's a bitch be good stick.
I'm not a big guy, and there's no such thing as a fair fight. So
I'll tell you what we used to call it after this.
yeah, yeah.
Why do you
And,
think I use those choice words?
And so I actually went and was like, "Hey, this guy stole my fucking hood ornament. I'm gonna fight this motherfucker."
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say the teacher's name, but I am still friends with him to this day.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Okay, you know the end of the drive where the buses come out. As soon as the bus leaves that line, you are no longer on school property."
End of the laneway.
Yeah, and I
Don't
was
come
like,
up the property.
I was like tracking. The other thing is, so we had been stationed in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Because my dad was teaching ROTC at the University of Pitt. That was the duty station he got. Well, we didn't live in Pittsburgh proper. We lived in one of the towns that surrounds it.
Good for you.
And
Like Cranberry.
so, no, I
I
lived.
just know that there's a suburb of Pittsburgh called Cranberry.
There
I think
is.
it's hilarious.
I lived in a town called Gibsonia.
Oh, okay.
But it's on the same beltway.
Yeah.
So
I think it's like next door to Cranberry.
we played
I think.
Cranberry.
Yeah.
Like, it was a-
It's pretty close. Yeah.
and the thing with that is that everybody knew where everybody worked. So it was like, it's not like you were going to do anything and get away with it. Like we didn't know where to find each other outside of school. And so, yeah, that was
Like that
was one of those
thing.
things where I was like, I'm going to fight him.
Yeah.
And
That's the craziest thing thinking back about high school. And it's like if you had a problem with somebody, you knew where they were 24/7.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Like this is where you work. That's where you hang out. This is who you hang out with.
Here's where he
And
lives.
if you're not at school or at home, you're at one of those places.
Yeah. I
well, you
lived.
probably, a lot of times you knew where they lived.
I lived like fucking 4 blocks from school.
Oh, yeah.
well, and
you
the
were
other thing
you
is
were a
when you go to
turnkey kid,
small
right?
high schools
We all
too.
did.
Yeah.
I mean, except, yeah.
It was either that or you're 20 miles out in the country.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But when you go to a small high school too,
I had a graduating class of 32.
but mine was
damn.
bigger than that, but it wasn't huge.
Yeah.
But when you go to a small high school, the other thing is that yes, in the school, there's the groups that kind of hang out. But the parties and stuff, fucking the whole high school shows up. Because there's no way to like short of like a couple of friends
Yeah.
getting together. If a party gets out that it's happening,
Oh, yeah.
everybody's showing up. So
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? It's not like you're getting away with this.
Right.
So I got my hood ornament back.
Well, that's good. So what were you beating that dude's ass for?
He was just a douchebag. Like he was a bad kid.
He just needed it.
Yeah. And literally,
Just needed to do something his dad hadn't done.
That's why your administrators were like, this is where the fuck
Yeah.
this is
Yeah,
where the
they
robbery
really
is.
did.
You're gonna fuck that kid up?
Yeah.
Okay.
and literally,
Take your
literally
life.
across the school property where I fought was my aunt and uncle's house's like driveway.
Oh,
Yeah.
easy day.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we went out and fought, and it was what it was. And yeah, so he didn't live very long after that. He was just a bad dude. And my brother, who's my younger brother, who's in the same class as his younger brother, just sent me
Your brother that we know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Just sent me the sentencing of his younger brother that got thrown in jail for a long time.
Yeah.
For some bad shit, right? Not a good family. And looking back on it, like, is there something I probably could have done better? I don't know. I'll go down with that fight, I think.
Yeah.
Whatever. It needed to happen probably. And
Did you beat his ass?
it was pretty even. The best, like I wasn't the best fighter, but you could beat my ass and I would laugh at you.
Yeah, you're tough.
I was tough.
Because there's a difference between being a good fighter and tough as fuck.
I was tough as fuck.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I even got into a fight in my freshman year with a couple seniors, and one of the best fights I was ever in. The senior, I don't even remember why we were fighting. He just thought I was an asshole, and I was an arrogant asshole as a freshman. And so this senior wanted to fight me. And so we go out on Beer Can Road, just a country road, right? That's what it was called. It was
That is
the
the
nickname.
most Nebraska fucking
It
road
was.
ever.
It really was, right? We go out to Beer Can Road. And I get to fight. And this senior's a wrestler. He's a football player. He's bigger than me. And he is kicking my ass.
Yeah.
Like he is wrestling, and he's beating my head off the fucking gravel, right? Like he's kicking my ass. At one point, it was winter. It was cold, right? At one point, he says, "Time out. I want to take my senior jacket off." And so I'm like catching my breath because he's beating my ass, right? He gets his shit halfway off, and I just go to town and I get some good fucking licks in, right? And then he goes to beat my ass again. But it was worth it,
Funny. While you were telling that story, it triggered one, and probably the best, most evenly matched, and bloodiest fist fight I ever got into was in 8th grade. Right? I'm telling you, it was me and this dude named Pat, and it was after a school dance, and we went across the street to this park, and we just fucking went to town on each other, just started fucking beating each other's ass. And it all started because I had said that his girlfriend stuffed her bra. Because the bitch did. I saw the tissue sticking out, and it was all wrinkly and shit. I was like, she stuffs her bra. And then she comes up to me the next day. She's like, "You think I stuffed my bra?" And I looked at her. And I was like, Yeah.
Show me them titties.
I was like, yeah, prove me wrong. Huh? and weirdly enough, they were dating then. And then like they'd broken up. And then the dance was like a week or two after they'd broken up. So he wasn't even mad at that. But just, he was like, yeah, I'll fight Mikey because everybody's telling me I need to.
Yeah.
We weren't even really mad at each other.
Right.
We played on the football team together and shit. Like we
John,
weren't
you
like,
remember when we were trying to figure out where the whole 2 13-year-olds fighting each other's dicks was coming from?
There it is.
So that was off air. Thanks for making it weird. But we get into this fight, and I remember I was wearing a fucking a leather bomber jacket.
Yeah.
And the same shit, it got wrapped around my arms, and this fucking kid started slugging me. And then, like, by the time I remember, I got a good lick in and fucking just rung his bell. But I swung so hard, I fucking fell down.
Yeah.
And he goes to take a fucking kick at me, and his foot gets stuck on the inside pocket of my bomber jacket. So I dumped this bitch, proceeded to mount him and start fucking beating his ass, but my jacket's still holding me back. So I'm swinging like an asshole. You know, I look like a fat guy trying to run upstairs or something. And like all of a sudden my buddy grabs my jacket, rips it off me, and I start fucking I got the upper hand real quick and started beating this dude's ass. Then a car pulled up and everybody thought it was teachers. So I get pulled off and we're just standing there, we're all bloody as fuck. We're just like, he broke his hand on my head. Like we were fucked up. We fucked each other up pretty good. It was a good fight. And then it was like kids getting out of the car. They're like, "Oh, is the fight over?" We're like, "You fucking ruined it." Yeah, but it was a fucking good fight to this day. And I've swung in a lot of fucking fights. I've been in a lot of fist fights in my life.
Okay, I have a really important question.
That was probably one of the best ones.
Was it one of the bomber jackets with like that had the map of the
You
world?
goddamn
on
right
the
it
inside?
was.
Okay.
in the fur collars?
The fur.
It didn't have the fur collar.
No, but it did have the map of the world on the inside.
Yes.
Nice.
Because it made total sense. My bomber jacket, in case I get lost while I'm flying, I can just take my jacket off and I got a whole map.
And to this day,
You just can't zoom in on it.
if I lick the inside of my lip, I feel it. I have a scar on the inside of my lip from where he kneed me, and my fucking tooth went through my fucking lip.
Nice.
And I still remember that.
Yeah.
So, Pat, if you ever fucking see this, man,
So
I'm still fucking hats off to you, sir. It was a good fucking scrap.
before this fight that I spoke of, I got in another fight because I don't know how to say this on air. There was a girl in my class, and she's like, "Hey, this guy took advantage of me." Okay, whatever, right? I'm going to fight him. And so it is literally 1 a.m. Main Street in our little town, right? Everybody parks down the center of Main Street. You know, it's got the parking in the middle, but it was empty, right? So he comes up to me. He's like, "Oh, I hear you want to fight." And he like starts talking shit. And I just fucking punched him. And I got lucky and knocked him the fuck out.
Yeah. Shut him the fuck up, though.
One hit.
Yeah.
And since then I had the reputation. And then everybody wanted to fucking fight me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody.
That's what happened.
He
to me
was
too.
a senior. I was a freshman. I knocked him out in one punch. And
I ended
was
up
like, fuck.
I ended up in way too many fights in high school because have you guys ever been to Pittsburgh?
No, but we've met you. So we get it, bro.
I don't know your angle, but we know our angle.
If you've never been to Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh is one of those cities where
It's very blue collar.
but nobody moves there and nobody leaves. We only moved there because the military said,
Yeah.
"Hey, you're going." But nobody leaves.
Yeah.
Like nobody leaves and nobody moves there. So it's like these kids that were going to high school together, their parents went to high school together and their grandparents went to high school together. Like everybody still owns the same houses. Like it's this whole thing. And so then all of a sudden I show up from Texas and it was just it was nonstop. Of
There's
just
only two things from Texas.
It was.
Oh my God.
It was essentially you ain't from around here, are
yeah.
you, boy? Except without.
I remember getting asked like what I
Yeah.
thought of the big city,
The
and I was
girls
like,
wanted to bang you,
It's
and
like-
the guys wanted to fight you.
You're like, dude, I'm from.
and that was exactly
You're
the
like,
problem.
dude, I'm from Houston. It's bigger there.
Well, and that was the thing. I was like, well, and my answer, I was like, Houston's not bad, and they're like, no, I'm at Pittsburgh, and I was like, bro, I'm not even from Houston. I lived in Humble, and Humble's bigger than Pittsburgh. Like, there's nothing fucking here, man. Like,
It was the same way when I moved from Massachusetts to Minnesota,
Oh God, yeah.
right? Like I've lived in Boston. I've lived in South Boston, but I was in Central Mass when I moved from Massachusetts to Minnesota, right? And
where in Minnesota did you move? By the way?
Rochester.
Okay.
The Rock.
Yeah.
Holla.
it's
No, I
fucking
lived in Minnesota during
shithole.
Desert Storm.
So, but like Massachusetts is very weird because you have from literally the water to Worcester, and it's like solid fucking people.
Yeah.
And then west of Worcester is like Western Mass, and it's kind of redneck.
Yeah.
It is, because it's like there's open like
Yeah.
woods and shit like that.
It's farming community.
There's not so much farming as it just is like woodlands.
Yeah.
You know? And so like Western Mass, they're fucking hillbillies. Worcester to the water to Boston is like, that's Massachusetts. And it's nonstop pretty much of buildings and people and houses. There's no like open land that you're just going to go by, you know, like small areas, but not like Western Mass. So when I got to Minnesota and people are like, oh, like you're from this big city and blah, blah, blah. And I had an accent at the time. And I'm like, yeah, but it's like, I lived in Central Mass. Like it's kind of like this. You know, like you have a city, and if I want to go in the country, I can go drive and be in the country. And they're like, "Oh, you must not be used to this." And it's like, that's not like it. Besides your weird, fucked up accent, which obviously I had one too. Nothing's really that much different.
Yeah,
you know,
it's amazing how in our country,
just because I don't know how to play euchre.
I don't know what kind of beer you guys drink, and you overpronounce your vowels.
Yeah,
like sorry, I dropped my R's.
It's amazing how our country is so big.
I don't know what a bag is.
That we don't really end up with like American culture. We have like regional culture.
Yeah.
It's depending on where you're from. And if you haven't traveled enough, there is still a lot of like, well, isn't that whole area just like this? And it's like, no, but there's.
My favorite saying about the United States is never trust somebody that has an accent different than yours. But it's true. It's true.
Is it?
Why is it?
It is. If you go to Boston, right, and you don't speak like those people,
I don't.
You're not one of them.
I don't speak like that, and I'm from there.
But you're not one of them to them. If somebody from Boston comes to Texas,
so I give him a fucking Irish kiss and remind him what Southie's about.
If somebody from Boston comes to Texas, the people in Texas that guy's different.
Yeah, but you can still trust people that are different.
Sure,
but if you go, it takes a minute to build that trust.
That's why I didn't trust anybody in Boston.
But if you like collectively with us, we don't really have accents per se.
Yeah, we have pretty good non-regional dictions.
You know what I mean? Like there's a handful of words here and there.
Like you don't sound like you're from Texas.
You don't sound like you're from Baltimore.
And I don't sound like I'm from Boston. Fuck you.
but you know what I mean? Like we all gained a level of trust with each other fairly quickly.
You know, I caught shit a lot when I was growing up because I didn't have an accent. And they'd be like, "What the fuck, man? How come you talk funny?" I'm like, "Yeah, I talk funny."
When I first moved to Minnesota,
just because you can read.
Bad.
Well, no, it's because
you understand that there's actual letters and words.
I had a mother. I had a mother that gave a fuck. And that's what it was. Is like she was like, "You will not sound like a fucking asshole. You might be an asshole. You're not going to sound like one."
Like I said, you can read.
Sometimes.
Like you, if I drop my R's and it sounded like a hooligan, she would knock the shit out of me.
Mikey, your accent doesn't depict whether or not you're an asshole.
I'm aware of that.
Or sound like one.
Yeah. No, I chose to be an asshole on my own accord. But yeah, man. Justin, did you have an incident at your high school? I mean, it was like
what
3
was
weeks
home life
ago.
like?
What was you? Oh, that's right. You're homeschooled. Fuck out of here. He's like, yeah, divorce.
That wasn't until after graduation.
It fucking wrecked my whole high school.
Thank God. Otherwise, it for sure would have been your fault. If it's like 7th grade and they're like,
I've got to go to military history at the other campus.
It's really bad. It's really bad when your principal and vice principal are getting in a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Jesus.
They break up the whole school because of you, the only student.
Oh, it was definitely still because of me, but you know.
That's fucking funny. Yeah, never mind. I forgot that you're a freak.
I thought you were setting up a joke.
No, I just genuinely forgot that you were
It turned into one.
homeschooled.
It sure did.
Good God.
Just
Good
Justin
God.
standing out front watching everybody get ready for homecoming, just going, thanks.
How long did you have to wait at the bus stop?
God.
How funny would that be? Like, God, the bus is late today.
You know what is a little kind of a bummer, Justin, is you missed out on like bus stop banter. Like the bus stop had like there was good shit that went down to the bus
I
stop.
got my
man.
first hand job on the back of a school bus.
Yeah, like, dude, like riding the bus and going to the bus stop, like that was like it was hood rat time with your friends. Like, it was a good time.
Or if you were part of any of the organized shit for your school, the shit like, and you had to like a road game or like anything. The shit that went down on the bus during that shit, was,
dude. And I don't care. Honestly, you know who the biggest fucking psychos were in the school that were organized? The band geeks. The band geeks, dude. Whores, fucking skanks. All of them. All of them. Dudes, chicks, whores.
I know. I decided I was going to learn how to play violin one year just because I wanted to go on band trips. So like it was.
I found out got more pussy than fucking anything.
I can't play the violin.
I found out after this last weekend that I need to stop making fun of nerds.
We have a good time.
Wait. I have a joke. You know, violinists give the best hand jobs.
Oh, they fucking do.
Motherfucking fiddle player, dude.
Yep. Dude,
I'm good with my fingers.
Dude.
Fucking, your soul will leave your body.
Yeah. At least the one that plays for Alabama, fucking
God
for sure.
Damn.
Yeah. Me and John can contest to that. We had a long, drawn out conversation about hand jobs by a fiddle player. To date, one of the funniest things I've ever had. It was so fucking funny.
You know, I didn't appreciate the fact that nobody else around us appreciated our conversation.
Yeah. Right?
They really didn't. It happens when you go to the rodeo at noon.
We were having a great fucking time, though. Oh.
So you learned about nerds this weekend, huh?
I learned about a different side of nerds that I didn't quite think. It was interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, well, because that's really what Ren Fair is when you camp, right? It's like Woodstock, but with nerds. But
it's nerd Burning Man.
Here's the thing, though: is I'd go back. I'd go back. I had fun.
I had some great conversations with random people throughout the weekend.
Nobody was a dick,
Nah.
but that's what was cool.
Like,
was nobody was a dick.
But it wasn't so much that they were a dick. It was like I still made my asshole-ish jokes, and people still laughed at them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they've all got them too. Like
it's like the sense of, maybe it was the environment where the sense of humor is just like, it's here.
Yep.
Like you have to be in lighthearted and good terms and you have to have fun. Like nobody's trying to be a dick. I wasn't trying to be a dick, but it was just like poke the bear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is funny.
Well, I would ask questions, like, because I didn't know a lot of the stuff, man. Like I just,
the other thing
this
is
is not my world.
it's not like you can go there and be like, look at these fucking nerds. And it's like, did you look around?
Oh, no.
I
There
hate to
were a
tell you this.
handful of times that I was like, look at that fucking nerd.
But the thing is that like all of us that go, we know it. Like, and it's like
but they're owning it, right?
But the other thing is
own
like
it.
look around and you
Gotta
try
respect
to
that.
you try to figure out who the weird one here is, and it's
But it's not even that. You take
it's not the 36,000 people here. It's you that thinks that you're better than everybody
Right,
here,
yeah.
and it's like
But if you take a group of other people, like stereotypical group, right? So this is a stereotypical group of nerds. You got 20,000 nerds camping, right? You put 20,000 jocks camping.
I don't think it'd be as fun.
You're not going to have that same experience.
I don't think it'd be as
No,
fun. Yeah.
because there's a bunch of dicks.
Well, no, it's because there's ego.
Yeah, dicks.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
No, there
that's
was a
it.
bunch of dicks.
There was a lot of dicks,
But there wasn't much ego.
Yeah, but it was like I would go again. I had a good time because there was a lack of asshole in that place.
Yeah.
Like people just weren't being assholes.
but not a lack of butthole.
Plenty of
Oh,
butthole.
there was plenty of those.
But it was
Assholes.
It was nice, man.
It's a good time.
It was a good
Everybody
time.
and everybody kind of looks out for each other. Like it's a
nobody's out to get anybody.
no.
Like there's no nefarious plot or
If anything,
It's
it's
just like, hey.
whatever I have, it's here to share if it's going to elevate your good time. And
Yeah.
like it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Which John, appreciate you.
And the funny thing is that
Everybody.
if you start polling out there, you'll find a bunch of people that you've got like me that owns a game store and all that kind of stuff. And there's the other stereotypical nerd too. And then you're going to have firefighters and veterans and cops and
Oh, sure.
corporate guys and all that. Like it's a huge
Well,
mix.
You know what I did
It's not a
appreciate?
cheap hobby.
No,
You know
It's-
what I did appreciate out the
Like-
whole entire weekend? Is not a single person said a word or gave me a weird look about me smoking a cigar.
nope.
No.
Whether it was inside the fair or anywhere in the
The only
campground.
thing you'll ever get is somebody walking by like, damn, that smells good. Or they'll go, hey, where'd you
Hey,
get that?
Yeah.
Like,
I
it's
got that a bunch. And I was like, oh, right here. Have you heard of Warfighter Tobacco before?
Yeah.
I think the best moment ever was
Sean was closing deals, dog.
there was a shop I wanted to go in, and I walked in, and John had like set his cigar somewhere, and he comes in, and I turned around and still had my cigar in my mouth, and he went, "Fuck, you could smoke in here?" And like turned around.
I grabbed my cigar, came back in.
It was at that cigar shop, right?
The pipe and the
Fuck, I didn't get the lightsaber lighter.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
But
That was dope.
most
They
of
have
the
a
shops I
lightsaber
walk up
fucking
to-
cigar lighter.
Nice.
most of the
dope.
shops I walk up to, because they're open fronted and stuff, I'll like hold it up and be like, "Is this cool?" And all of them are like, "Yeah, fucking come on!" Like
Yeah.
it's
No, everybody was really cool. Even like the people who worked there were cool. Everybody was really nice. Like I enjoyed it, man. And you know what? Fucking like I said, man, I would go back. It's fun. It's fun. 10 out of 10 recommend.
Nice.
I'm like, "Oh, a lot. You're always welcome to go back with me."
Yeah, man. Dude, because I saw fuck, his name escapes me. Your buddy was parked right next to you in the fucking yurt. Brian, good fucking dude, man.
Yep.
Great dude. I didn't realize how small those yurts pack up. But when I saw that, dude walking out with it
like
on his
a bag.
back,
Yeah,
I was like, look at that
Yeah.
shit, man. And it was fast. It was relatively fast.
it goes up and comes down in about 15 minutes.
Not so much for yours, huh?
No, mine goes up, comes down quick.
Does it?
It's
Yeah.
not. It's really not that bad.
The only
Somebody
the
said
only
you
hard
were-
part about setting yours up was us figuring out that vestibule thing. That was a little
it. But once
goofy.
we figured it out, it was like,
And it
oh,
made
cool,
sense,
5
yeah.
minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I got.
Somebody said you're
Then
bringing
we
it
also
back.
figured out that
I get a bone.
then we also figured out that this
Yeah.
outfitter's tent
They forgot
is
to
great
put-
in sunny weather.
They forgot to put the waterproofing on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah. I had 4 inches of water. In
Dude,
my
I'm
tent.
surprised you didn't just go for a yurt. Like,
So I got everything to use
because a yurt would be good for hunting too.
Yeah.
It's got a floor.
That
It's
canvas
fucking-
yurt that I've got would absolutely work as an outfitter's
Fucking
tent.
A.
Yeah, no, I get it. But we talked about the stove pipe placement.
Just get the one that has it in the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They make one where it's in the
GPV.
roof instead of in
Right.
the wall like mine.
What's his name? Steve Ranella from Meat Eater. That's what he's got. He's got a yurt
Yeah.
that has the
It's dope.
stovepipe on it.
Biggest thing I
Yeah.
like about mine is it's got like it's got to be a 14 mil floor, and it comes up, and where it attaches to the side, it's a 4-inch wall of that 4 mil that goes all the way around. So you're
Yeah.
like in a bucket, and then
So
everything attaches.
My floor is supposed to be 3 times as much waterproof as the rest of the tent. That's how they designed it.
Well, we know the top was 0, so 3
the
times
floor is
0.
zero,
Well,
too.
but 3 times 0 is still fucking
It's still
0.
So I mean,
It's
they're not wrong. But yeah, I get a video from inside the tent, and I can't wait to have that phone call with them.
One thing I got to give you, man,
Because it's
though-
going to be, hey, look, you can either take care of this over the phone, or I'm going to go into the store and I'm going to make one of your GMs hate fucking life.
Yeah. So
Like,
before we
sorry.
sign off, I have to shout out John on this week because the boys did my bachelor party Tuesday, and everybody in this room showed up. It was great, except for the village people over there. But there's a reason. It was a small group,
There was no felons allowed
but
except for Justin.
everybody was here. They took me to some of my favorite places and bought me drinks all day, and it was awesome. And then we went to one of the locations, and John's truck got broken into.
That's
Yeah.
true.
And so he left for like an hour and went out and did his thing.
I had to
and-
deal with
and
the police.
Had to deal with the police or whatever. Came back in. We talked a little bit about it. The bar bought us a round because it got broken into in their parking lot and bought us a really good round. It wasn't like a
That was
well round. Like it
Oh,
was
and
a
by the-
good round.
And by the way, that food we had delivered, good
Not
call.
bad.
That was
Yeah.
delicious.
And
Fucking tasty.
and then the party kept going. He didn't let it get him down. He didn't bring it up. He wasn't whatever. He partied. And then Thursday morning, we got up, met here, loaded everything out. Well, Wednesday we got together
Yeah.
and packed and everything. And then Thursday we left in the morning. It pissed rain the whole fucking way there.
It did. It was bad.
It pissed. I mean, to the point where the only thing I was following was the top light on the back of his trailer.
It
And I was
bad.
like,
It was
I'm just going to
fucking bad.
follow that light. So if he dies, we all fucking die. Like, it's
but
just
I was still doing 80.
Yep. We made great time.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna
And,
let Ray slow this down.
then we
we're
had
at
like
10, it's straight.
we had like a little window of no rain at the campground, and it's already soaked.
Yeah.
So we got everything set up, and then it starts pissing again. Everything flooded.
Yeah.
I mean, we had 10, 12 people inside that trailer with all the gear, and
And it wasn't
We
like it was our personal shit flooded. The 200-acre campground was a pond.
It's not like we didn't pick up. It's not like we picked a low spot and we were just bad at
the
this.
cell that
Like,
went over us 8 miles later turned into a tornado.
yeah, like it was really bad.
I showed
And-
up Friday night and everybody was still like, it's been so wet.
Yeah.
It's been so fucking wet, man.
John's stuff got John's tent got entirely flooded. I mean, his personal stuff was floating. Like it
Everything
was.
soaked.
Mike Jones was
We-
on a fucking raft in his.
We
Yurt.
pulled everything out of his tent.
Well, that's
John's-
the beauty about an air mattress is it'll stay
Yeah.
above
I
the
know,
water.
right?
John ended up sleeping in his truck the first night. Like, I mean, the whole 9 yards. And one thing I got to give you too, man, is after all of that and the work and everything, you were a blast to be with. You never once let it get to
Dude,
you.
it's so much fun.
And you
Yeah,
were,
it's
it was
camping,
awesome having
yeah.
you there. But like just the number of things you had to deal with, and you essentially gave up almost an entire week
But there's
to party with me for my wedding, and I really appreciate
There's
it.
two
man.
types. Thank you. But there's two types of camping. There's camping where shit goes wrong and your trip's ruined.
Yeah.
And then there's camping.
Yeah.
Because you have no control over your environmentals.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what
You
really
chose
happens.
to live in the environment for a
But that's
certain
it.
period
Like,
of time.
Oh, it rained. Oh, this sucks. But it's still going to be fun.
John
Yeah.
and I were running around helping other people get their tents up because our shit was set, and we were like, it
Okay,
started
let's go.
raining, and we were like, we're setting
What
other
do you
people,
need?
and we're drenched. I mean, and we got to that point of wet, we were just like,
It doesn't matter.
You can't
we
get
weren't
more
walking.
wet.
yeah.
We weren't walking quickly or anything.
Yeah.
We were just like walking around.
You
And
can't get more wet.
Scott, it was JRTC rain.
yeah, it was
It
bad.
looked that way.
Yeah, like it was.
But every time John and I would walk by each other, we were like, "We camping yet?" yeah, I think so.
It's intense.
Just-
This is intense. Yeah,
yeah,
because we're camping.
and yeah,
It's funny,
so-
I-
but I really
I
appreciate it.
texted
You were great
Jazz.
to have there.
Thank
I
you.
texted
It was
Jazz
fun.
and I was like, made it home safe, buddy. Fucking great time. Thank you. Da, 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 da. And he's like, wouldn't have been the same without you. And I was like, pretty sure it would have. Pretty sure it would have been the same without me. I think if John wasn't there, it wouldn't have been the same. But I didn't contribute that much, man. I just
I
kind of
mean,
showed up.
like- In environments like that, where you have a group of people, you have limited resources.
Yeah.
We didn't have power. We didn't have running water. We didn't have toilets. Like
Oh, we had power.
because of the people that went.
Yeah.
Yes.
We
Shout
had
out to
fucking
fucking-
20,000 watts worth of
Yeah.
generators.
It's so much power.
Big shout out to Forrest, man. The old
He
happy
came
hooker.
correct.
Came
Yeah.
through,
Yeah, he
fucking
did.
helped out a lot. Fucking knows how to fuck with my buzz, but is a good dude still.
But like you can't let petty shit ruin the time that you're having.
Nah, it was a good
Yeah.
time. Because honestly, that was the night when it rained, it flooded, and everybody was soaked. That was the 4 a.m. night, and it was a great fucking time all the way till we all went to
it brought
bed.
me back to the grunt mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the more it sucks,
Embrace the
the
suck.
more
Yeah.
fun we're gonna
Yeah.
fucking
Yep.
have.
Just
Like, let's
embrace
fuck-
it, baby.
The only thing I wanted to do and I didn't do, and the reason I didn't do it is because of our shower situation. Is I wanted to go create mudslides on the campground and try to get as many people but I didn't want to get head to toe, fucking every
Like-
orifice covered in mud.
Like
Go out
this
to-
last Burning Man situation.
kind of,
Mm.
yeah. When they were having
Yeah, yeah.
fun
Yeah.
before they realized that they were fucked.
Yeah.
Yes.
The funny thing was, as soon as the rain stopped, people started walking into our campground. I mean, like it didn't stop anything. They were just
Yeah.
like, anyways, sign it off, Mike. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, man. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Let us know. Hit us up. I want to hear about your guys' crazy ass high school incident, right? Like, I mean, because everybody has that story. Like, share, subscribe, smash those buttons. Tell your mom.
Tell your friends.
Tell your fucking mom's friends. And yeah, pretty easy. 3 little things, guys. Not hard to do at all. John, what's the
Smoke
first
on.
one? Yeah, that's it. Scott,
Oh, drink on.
your favorite.
Yep.
And goddamn it, kids,
Freedom the fuck on.
Later.